Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello and welcome to this episode of our show. This is your host, Keith Doherty. Today our special guest is top real estate agent Elizabeth Axelgard of Keller Williams Realty based out of Sacramento, California. Elizabeth has been in real estate since 2008. She is a life member of Masters Club and a certified negotiation expert. She ranks among the top 1% of all Keller Williams single producing agents in the United States, and she currently ranks 45 in the second quarter of 2016. All right, with all that said, Elizabeth, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Keith. Glad to be here.
And Elizabeth, if we could start for our listeners, what led you into real estate? Was it something that you always knew you wanted to do, or did you maybe stumble into it?
I stumbled into it, but I've always loved homes. When I was a young mother, I took my children around to open houses all the time. I was constantly dragging them with me to look at properties. Even on vacation, I'd run out and check out what was available in that area where we were vacationing. So it's something I've always enjoyed doing. And when I switched careers, I was in the automobile business before for a long time and was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. My oldest son, took me aside and said, "Mom, all you do is drag us around to look at properties. Why don't you just do real estate?" And the light bulb went off, and that's when I switched careers.
And can you talk a little bit about what personal attributes, traits, or qualities you think have most contributed to the success that you've had in real estate?
Well, I started in, like I said, the automobile business, and one of the things that you learn to do in that business is meet people and quickly assess their needs and build a relationship with them so that they're comfortable, and then negotiate on their behalf. And that's what's really helped me in real estate. I'm a great intuitive listener, and I pay attention, and I watch and try to absorb what my clients are saying. So because I ask a lot of questions, I can kind of get to the heart of the matter and find out what their true desires are. And I'm a really straight up, honest communicator, so they feel comfortable sharing their dreams with me. So building that relationship has always been important. I think that's been the strongest attribute that I've had in real estate.
And do you think give our listeners an example of when these traits have played a role in your path towards success?
Well, to give an example, this is kind of an odd one, but I have clients that will call me and mention that they're looking for a home, and I just ask tons and tons of questions. And I'm always amazed when I write offers, I ask questions of the listing agents as well. And agents always tell me on the other side, they say, nobody called to ask us what our client wants. So I'm trying to ferret out information that will help us in the negotiation process. And so I'm just inquisitive, and that process allows me to get more information out of the other side, which helps us in the negotiations.
And I think whenever somebody builds a successful business and a career, that sometimes the path to get there is filled with bumps in the road along the way. Can you talk about some of the adversities and trials that you've had to overcome in order to achieve your goals?
I have to say I've been very blessed, and I haven't had a lot of adversity. The things that have happened have all been put in my own way by my own mind. So in real estate, you have to, every morning when you wake up, you're basically unemployed, and you have to start the process all over again. And it's your mind game that you play with yourself and trying to stay ahead of your own brain. So I think the biggest challenge most realtors face is staying positive and keeping themselves focused, and because you're your own boss, keeping yourself on track. And so every day I wake up and I do focus my brain on doing my best job and putting my best foot forward and making sure that I have my client's interests at heart, because that's the most important thing. If you come from a place of contribution, people understand that, and then they just keep your business flowing.
And as obstacles come up for you, what keeps you going despite these obstacles? Why don't you give up? What's your driving force?
Because I love what I do, and because I love what I do, it doesn't feel like work. So some days are harder than others, but that's reality and that's life. So I don't give up because I'm a fighter, and because ultimately I'm helping someone meet a dream. They're buying their first home, or they're selling a property and hopefully making a profit, or they're moving to a new situation because they got married, or they have children and they're expanding. So these are life dreams that I'm helping come true, and that's really exciting to me. So I don't give up because I love what I do.
And looking forward, what's your vision for your business and your career over the next 5 years?
Well, I'm going to try to take more vacation time, honestly. I work a ton, and my vision is I've really gotten into philanthropy and giving back, and so I'm trying to consistently put forth that message. I want to continue to grow my business because in growing my business, that allows me to be more philanthropic, and that's something that really I love working with children's charities. And because of that, the more business that I conduct. Right now, it's exciting for me because my business is based on referrals. And for example, this year to date, I've closed 42 transactions. And of those 42 transactions, 37 of them were referrals from past clients or past clients doing business with me again. So my business is completely based on referrals, and that's a blessing. So my goals for the next 5 years are to continue to offer value to my existing clients and to provide them with services and to be a trusted advisor for them in many capacities and expand that database and expand that friend base. And then that will allow me to give back to my community in a way that makes me happy.
Excellent. And obviously you said a lot of your business is referral based, but, kind of on top of that, though, what do you feel is the best way that you market yourself as a real estate professional so that you can have continual growth?
Best way I market myself, and for me, it depends on an agent's personal business plan and philosophy of how they market themselves. For me, it's all about the care and feeding of my existing database and continuing to educate myself on technologies and market trends and bringing value to my clients. So I just try to stay in front of them. I personally throw client appreciation parties twice a year and then client education parties twice a year. So 2 times a year, we just get together for fun, my whole database, and then 2 times a year, we get together and we learn something together. So whatever they have that they want to know more about, be it estate planning or financial planning or, talk to an attorney about setting up trusts and things like that. So that's what I try to offer value, and that's how I market myself. And then I let my clients market me because they're so happy they're typically talking about me, which is having people that are raving fans is the best form of marketing, in my opinion.
And I think sometimes when the general public looks at real estate agents, they don't fully understand the value they provide from both a buyer and a seller standpoint. What do you think the biggest misconception or myth people have about working with a real estate agent?
That the job's easy. We show one house and we get a check. I mean, it's not that way. Your realtor ends up being, wearing many hats, being your friend, being your financial advisor, being your strategist, your therapist. A lot goes into this. I'm in escrow right now with a client that I've been working with for 1 year and 3/4, and we're in escrow again, and they've changed their mind several times. And, there's a lot that goes into this process, but the goal for me is always to make sure I'm giving them honest and true advice and that they find value in it and that we do what's best for them, even if that means that we don't make a deal. So I think the biggest misconception is that realtors are, one and done, and that the money that they make for showing a couple of houses is not equal to the job that they provide. But we're here to protect our clients and to maximize their investments, and that's what I try to do every day.
And let's say you get a call from a family member or a friend, and they're in another state and they want to sell their home. Now, obviously, with your experience and being part of Keller Williams, you could easily look up an agent and do a referral. But from a general advice standpoint, what advice would you give them about selecting an agent that could best serve their needs?
Well, if I didn't hook them up with someone, typically I'll do the homework and I'll find out about that person and Google stalk them and check everything out I can about them, and then try to match the personality to the family member, because to me, you have to have things in common and like that person. But if they wanted to pick their own, I would suggest interviewing several, asking for references and actually speaking to those references, and then, setting up clear communication expectations up front, because to me, that's one of the biggest problems I see is that people don't understand how to communicate with one another. So I always meet with my clients up front and say, do you want to talk via text? Do you want to talk via email? What is a reasonable response time that you would expect from me? So I know, because every client's different, how they want to be communicated with. And I think I would recommend to any family member that they make sure that they have a clear level of communication expectation with whoever they pick, and make sure that that person that they're choosing is someone they want to have over for dinner, because that's how I run my business. I make sure when I'm working with clients that these are people that I would have in my home and that I'm comfortable with and they're comfortable with me, because long term, that creates the best relationship.
Excellent. And obviously you're based out of the Sacramento, California area. And if somebody's looking for real estate services or an agent in that general area, what's the best way they can find out more information about you and how you can help them?
Well, they can go to my website, which is ElizabethAxelgard.com, or they can call me on my cell phone, which I pick up all the time, and that's 916-747-7919. On my website, they'll be able to find lots of information about me. They can Google stalk me. They can check everything out. I love what I do. I work in 3 counties, Sacramento County, Placer County, and El Dorado County. And I would love to be of assistance.
Well, Elizabeth, obviously we want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come here today and share your professional real estate experience with our listeners. And if you're listening and you want to learn more about Elizabeth, obviously you can go to her site, like she said, or you can give her a call. Also, below this interview, we'll have a link to her site and any other contact information we have, so you can see how she can help you with your real estate needs. So with that said, everybody, until our next show, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.